This is Eric. Um, Here I'm gonna go over this old framework here. It's gonna be an introduction to the process that starts from a phone call through building a cart on the OEMS, through making a quote, and then through creating a packing list, uh, packing up the inventory into the truck, doing the events, and coming back at the warehouse, storing the inventory, and ticking off Runway clear. We'll get into what that means a bit later. Um, Now, why are we doing all of this? Well, Alliance Entertainment is all about empowering entertainers through communication, networks, and processes. And our goal here is to increase the level of communication um, to make everything that Alliances does uh, more more transparent. We want to increase the level of transparency in what we do. Of course, this is going to be networked. Everyone will be able to access all of this on their phone or on their tablet, on their laptop, wherever they might be. And this is very important. And this all map here, it's a process. Okay, so let's go over it. This year, this is where it starts. Everything starts with a phone call. Either we call a customer to sell them something, or they call us to buy something. This call will lead to question, to a discussion, and then this is going to create paper notes. Those paper notes are going to be filled with information. What kind of information is that? Well, we'll have contact information, and we'll need to store this somewhere. Now, just before I keep going further, there's three colors in this old map here. There's green, there's blue, and there's yellow. Now, this is color coded so that you know which software we're going to use to deal with this part of the process. So the green is for the OEMS, that's this part here. Blue is Highrise. Highrise is a CRM. It's going to help us keep tracks of all our contacts. So there's the blue here. All of that is going to be in the CRM. And then the yellow is going to be Basecamp. Basecamp is a project management software, and it's really a communication tool. That's what it is. And that's going to be the central part linking everything else. So if we go back to here, we add paper notes. This was information. What kind of information it was? Well, we add contact information. Now this contact information, we're going to need to put it into Highrise because we want to be able to contact our customers again in the future. We'll also create a follow-up reminder to remember to call these people back, these customers back. And if they want to buy something, then it's going to lead to some requirements here. And those requirements, for instance, it's what they want. Let's say that they want 3 poker tables and they would like to have a fun money tunnel and a DJ. Well, all these things are requirements. We need to know about them. And so these requirements are going to be split off into two different things. There's Alliance inventory, we have it here also, and there's outsourced. That means anything that Alliance doesn't do themselves. This could be entertainers, this could be things that need to be rented, any kind of things like this. So if we start with the Alliance inventory, if we need something like, let's say, a poker table, we're going to need to build a cart in the OEMS. And then after that, we'll submit the cart, we'll go in the OEMS backend, and we'll create a quote. All of this here will lead to us knowing the cost here. This is all about making sure that everyone that talks to a customer knows the same cost for what Alliance owns, the Alliance inventory. Now that quote that we make, we're going to attach a copy of it into Highrise so that we can keep track of what happened with all those customers and what they've what kind of prices we told them about what services or what inventory. Now we'll also need to know if we're even able to do it. Like, to build a cart and know how much it costs doesn't mean we can do it. We have a limited inventory. We cannot book 200 casino table for the same day. So here there's going to be another place here. we need to look into our Basecamp calendar to know what kind of events are scheduled for that day and if we have our inventory or not. So this will tell us availability. Now, if we're only doing a small event and there's nothing outsourced, that's all we know. With this cost and availability, we're able to make a QuickBooks quote. And then if there's some outsourced things, then we'll need to perhaps do email or phone calls, which will lead to paper notes. And again, we want to keep track of those things, those email and those paper notes, excuse me, so that we're able to stay on top of all the communication that we've had. And this is because really what we're trying to do is increase the level of communication and increase the transparency in our communications. So those email and paper notes, they're again info about cost and availability. So now if we have outsourced and alliance inventory, by going through everywhere like this here, we'll get the cost and availability of the outsource and the cost and availability of the alliance inventory. And again, we can make a QuickBooks quote. Now, when we have that quote, we're going to need to save it again in Highrise to be able to keep track of that communication. Now, after that, we're going to need to email this to the customer. This might lead to change. That's why it's a dashed line here. If it changes, then it changes our requirement, and we have to go through this again. We have to go through this, build a new cart, perhaps call or email other suppliers, and then again look at our calendars if we need more inventory. And then we'll also, when we make a quote, we also need to have a follow-up reminder. If we make a quote today and we don't hear anything about it for the next 2 weeks, maybe there's something wrong, maybe they forgot about it, maybe they didn't get it, maybe something. We should follow up with them and see what's happening. And then, of course, when we make a QuickBooks quote like this also, we need to put it in our calendar. We need to know that this event is coming up, because that's going to help us know if we have inventory later when we're making other quotes. Okay, and then now we've got this QuickBooks quote. They've got it at some point, either because they received the email or because of a reminder. We'll get a deposit. Now, when we get a deposit, then we're gonna change this QuickBooks quote into a QuickBooks invoice. And again, this is gonna go in Highrise. And I'll just backtrack here a little bit. This follow-up reminder is gonna be something that happens inside of Highrise. If you want to, it can be linked to Outlook, to your Outlook calendar, for instance. But we'll put this in Highrise. It's gonna be simpler to use. And then, so after we get the deposit, we'll make a QuickBooks invoice and a contract. Both of those things will need to go in Highrise. And then after that, this is mainly where we switch to Basecamp. Once we've got the deposit, we know the event is going to happen. And then, so we're going to make a packing list. And then we're going to create an event reminder so that everyone related to that event will get a reminder before the event. We're going to create a staff pool so that everyone knows what's going on. And then we'll add other information. And the staff pool, if I backtrack a little bit, the staff pool is all about letting know everyone on staff, sorry, letting know to everyone on staff that there's this event, and if you want to work on it, then you can work on it. This is like the dealer pool, but it's bigger because it can expand to any kind of duties, and not only dealing casino tables, anything else. So, and then we'll add other information like floor plans or maps, if there's any other information for this event. So now this event reminder at some point will remind everyone on the staff for this event, and then some of them will go to the warehouse. When they're at the warehouse, they're going to print maps if there's any maps to print, and print floor plans or other directions that there might be. And then after that, they're gonna pick, they're gonna pack everything according to the packing list. We'll have a packing list, and it's gonna be usable on a cell phone or on a tablet. We'll walk through this very shortly, and then this. And as they go, they'll be able to tick off all the items that are added to the truck. And this is very important because it will let everyone else know that this has happened in real time. And then after that, when we leave, um, then we'll take off the in transit, which means that we're not at the warehouse anymore. We're gone. We're in the truck. Then once we arrive at the event, we'll take off arrived, and then again, now this helps everyone on the team to know that this truck has arrived. It's not stuck in traffic. There was no flat tire. There's nothing happened that will delay this event. And if something has happened, then we can use Basecamp to communicate this and find a workaround. After that, there's going to be a setup. When the setup is done, we can take off setup done. Then we're going to have to do the event. That's the whole point. And then once that's done, we'll take off event done. And then tear down starts. When this is done, we'll take off tear down done. And then we'll leave in the truck. We'll take off in transit. And then after that, when we get back to the warehouse, we'll store all the inventory back. And then we'll take off runway clear. And that means that there's nothing in between the aisles. Like everything is clear. We're ready to make a new event. So this is an introduction of the whole process, starting from a call, through building a cart in the OEMS to get costs, looking at the calendar to know our availability, contacting outsource suppliers, creating a QuickBooks quote here, and then creating an event reminder, having a staff pool, and then packing everything using the OEMS so that everyone knows what's on the truck, and then when has the truck left and as it arrived, and at the end all the way back to storing the inventory back in the right place and ticking off the runway clear because we're ready to make a new event. So that's really that's all it is. And then the only reason why we're doing this is because Alliance Entertainment is about empowering entertainers through communication, networks, and processes. And this is what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to increase the level of communication, increase the access to networks, and design processes that work better. That's it.